Hi everyone! I've been gone for a few weeks because I was visiting friends and family, and while I was gone, I reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm just really excited about that. It makes me very happy, and thank you so much to everyone that subscribed, and also everyone that's watching my videos, and I hope you're gonna stick around for a while. In this video, I'm going to yap a lot before I actually start drawing, so if you're not interested in that, feel free to skip. So this is the first video that I'm filming after I've returned home. And so while I was away, I went to Disneyland, I visited Paris, and I went to Düsseldorf. And since I went to Disneyland, which is a very, very special and very cool place that I haven't been to in about 10 years, my plan was to buy some art supplies in Disneyland and then use those to later film a video in Paris at some sort of sightseeing spot and make a really cool fancy little video about my holidays. But unfortunately, the shops in Disneyland were kind of bad. As in, there was very, very little variety. Like, every Primark I've ever seen has a much, much, much better selection of Disney merchandise compared to the actual Disney stores in Disneyland I went to, which is so sad because they used to have a lot more variety. They used to have a lot more stuff, but you know, it is what it is. All they had were big ballpoint pens that already looked like that just looked kind of boring, and lined notebooks. So that was kind of disappointing. I also didn't get a chance to shop for art supplies in Paris or sit down and film a video in Paris just because I was just constantly sick. I felt awful. But Nicholas and I did manage to go see the Eiffel Tower at night, which was so much prettier than seeing the Eiffel Tower at daytime.
Wow, it's so beautiful.
And then we took the train to Düsseldorf, which at this point I was feeling a little better. And if you didn't know this, Düsseldorf has a very high amount of Japanese immigrants. And because of that, they have an area that the locals tend to refer to as Little Tokyo. I did not grow up anywhere near Düsseldorf, and I didn't know this until like a friend told me about it. But as a weeb, it's really fun to go there. So I did sort of manage to buy some art supplies. And mostly, I ended up spending my Disney money on a whole pile of Japanese notebooks. So I don't know if I've mentioned this on my YouTube before, but I've definitely mentioned it on some of my other social medias, and I mention this to every single person I meet in real life. But these types of notebooks are by far my favorite type of book to use as a sketchbook. Obviously very pretty from the outside, but they also have like very, very smooth and soft paper. And while the paper is not bleed proof just because it's very thin, it feels especially amazing when you're using Copic markers, because Copic markers love smooth paper, and this is great. I filled up the few sketchbooks that I bought in Tokyo. I filled those sketchbooks up so fast because I just enjoyed the paper so much. So of course I had to buy a whole bunch of them, which the fact that it's already been taking me at this point over a year to fill up this mystery sketchbook is kind of crazy, because this is probably the longest it has ever taken me to finish a sketchbook. No matter how excited I am to use these, I need to finish my mystery sketchbook first. So for now, these books are going to go into the drawer. Usually when I finish one of my sketchbooks, I will post a poll and ask people to help me choose what my next sketchbook is gonna be. So keep your eyes out, because in a month or two, you're probably gonna see a short where I'm asking if I should use one of these. So now that I've spent a lot of time going through all these sketchbooks, there's one more thing I can show you, and I do want to show you. Considering I went on a pretty long holidays into another country, this last piece of art supply that I can show you might seem a little sad, but while in Düsseldorf walking through the Japanese stores, I came across this tiny little set of colored pencils that were also on sale for €1. And do I need a tiny set of colored pencils that can barely fit into my hands? No, absolutely not. But the packaging looked really cute, and they were cheap, so I really wanted them. I have not tried these out yet. I have not actually even unpacked them because I thought it would be kind of fun to do this on camera. I'm actually surprised by how bright the colors are. Hold on. Let me get these pencils out. These are the colored pencils. They are about the same size as those free pencils you get at IKEA. And the wood pretty much feels the same as well. What I was surprised about when I opened the package is at how bright the colors are. Like, they look very pretty on here. The color of the pencils looks so pretty, and it's like so bright. I understand that this is like recycled cardboard, but I kind of expected the colors to be a little more natural, like a little browner, I guess. Just like how they're shown on the box. But this is a pleasant surprise. Okay, I'm really excited to swatch them. I've been waiting for so long. So let's do this. This is probably also going to be the last time we're gonna see the swatch pig. Okay, let's start off with this orangey yellow. Oh, these pencils are really small. This is gonna be so uncomfortable for me to draw with. But the color is really pretty. I like it. It's by far not as orange as I expected, but it is a very, very nice warm yellow. Then next, this one I assume is going to be a pale skin tone, but we'll see. Okay, well, it's not quite as pale as I expected, but it is still a peachy pink one. Although I feel like if I use this on a human, they're probably gonna end up looking a little sunburned. Next, we got a reddish pink. Oh, this pink is pretty. It's pretty more like a cold red, I guess. The first purple. I like this one too. I like this one too. It's quite similar to this Crayola marker color, which I really like. Look at these two. They're basically the same color, just as a pencil. Next, we have a more blue purple. I do wish this one was a little like brighter or darker. Like it feels a little sheer. Next, we got dark blue. I mean, it's a nice indigo, just not the biggest fan of like dark blues. Maybe I should look into getting like pencil extenders or something, because I quite like these pencils. Also, all of these pencils so far are very smooth. I really like that. Very pretty turquoise, by the way. This turquoise is leaning more into the green. So on camera, it might end up looking just like a green, but in real life, it looks, it's basically a perfect Hatsune Miku kind of turquoise. The dark green's fine, I guess, but it doesn't work so well with the other colors, I feel like. Not the prettiest brown, but it's fine. It's a little too desaturated for my taste, a little too gray. I like the gray though. I usually prefer cool grays, but I quite like how warm it is because the whole color palette feels kind of warm despite all the blues and purples. And I really appreciate that there is no white in this set. The black is a black, I mean. So here are my swatches. I think they're very nice. I love that some of the colors are quite similar to my Crayola Tropical pens. But just because of how smooth these pencils feel, I think I'm going to try to Google Translate the packaging because I am curious if they actually are watercolor pencils. Because watercolor pencils tend to be a lot smoother than normal pencils, like even compared to high quality colored pencils, they still not usually as smooth as these ones are.
2 moments later.
Okay, so I translated the packaging and I think I'm gonna cry with jealousy now because these are not watercolor pencils, but apparently these are intended to be like the first set of pencils for kids, for like toddlers to learn colors and to learn drawing. And that's so unfair. These are such beautiful colors and they're so incredibly smooth. They feel like almost waxy, but it says nothing about that on the packaging. Like, I'm so happy for Japanese kids to get these amazing and cheap pencils. But why did I not get pencils this good quality when I was a kid? That feels so unfair. There's no like name branding on here, by the way. It just says like Japanese coloring pencils. This just makes me dislike Faber-Castell a little more. Like, I've complained about this so many times, but Faber-Castell is like, or was like, basically the standard art supply for kids in Germany, despite being like way more pricey than what I think the quality of their products is worth. And these pencils are like a million times better. I've only swatched them so far, but I feel like if they had like a normal pencil length, I might even like these more than I like my polychromos. Which, I don't like my polychromos that much, so it's not that hard, but I'm just saying. I'm getting really worked up about this. Alright, so let's think about what we want to draw. These pencils are really hard to hold for me, so I'm not really sure if more detail or less detail is better. I should probably draw what it's suggesting on the back of the box, but I think I'm gonna draw dinosaurs instead. Since I don't draw dinosaurs very often, and I haven't actually drawn one since last year's Valentine's video, I think I'm just gonna stick to some very basic, iconic ones. I understand that not all of them are technically dinosaurs, but for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna refer to all of them as dinosaurs. It just makes my life much easier. So I think I want to start off with a Brachiosaurus, one with the really long necks. Also, since these are kids' art supplies that I'm using, I feel like also keeping the art style that I'm going for very simple, kind of like something that you might find in a kid's coloring book or a like preschool TV show. Whenever I draw animals, I really stylize them quite a lot. But I do really want this, I want these dinosaurs to be even more stylized when it comes to their anatomy. Alright, I think the first dino is fine. Next on my list is a Stegosaurus, because those were my absolute favorite dinosaurs when I was a little kid. And I love the idea that they are able to pump blood into their back plates to make them change color to a bright red to scare off people. Also, like with most of my animal pictures, I'm not really gonna stick to accurate size differences. I'm just gonna draw them at whatever size fits into the space I have. In the reference picture that I'm looking at, this one looks very grumpy. It also kind of reminds me of a turtle a little. I think I might draw one of those with the singular horn. I never really cared much for them when I was a kid, but now as an adult I find them quite appealing actually. I don't know what the current scientific stance on these guys is, but now that I'm actually drawing them for the first time, that's like a prime bird stance they've got going. If these cuties don't turn out to have had feathers, then I don't know. Like, there's just no way this creature did not have feathers. Look at that body. I've not just drawn a lot of fish in my life, I've also drawn a lot of birds in my life. As a kid, I never thought about it, but now as an adult artist that has drawn a bunch of animals, some of these just really don't look like they would be scaly or, you know, kind of like reptile skinned. Okay, I think I have room for one more. I did consider drawing a Triceratops. But looking at this slightly triangular space, maybe one of the flying ones would be a better choice. All of these pterodactyls look very different, and they all look very terrifying. I don't know if I still want to draw this. Oh, I'll try my best to make it cute. Okay, this guy looks really goofy, especially since I kind of had to squash one of his wings in here. Since I have a few empty spots, I might just draw a few kind of prehistoric looking plants just to fill up the empty space. Okay, I think my sketch is ready to be lined. I kind of wish if I had colored fine liners, I would absolutely use them on this picture. But unfortunately, I don't, so don't mind me while I'm... Okay, so I once again went and raided Nicholas's art supplies and helped myself to his brown acrylic ink. I think a dark green would have been nicer, but the green he has is quite light. And I would much prefer the outlines to be darker than the colors of the colored pencils later. And this is gonna be my ink pen. This is quite literally the cheapest inking pen that I could find on Amazon. And I think it's pretty good. I like it a lot and it's really easy to clean, which is amazing. I'm worried I'm gonna knock it over if I keep it to my right. So let's put it here. I haven't used an inking pen like this in a really long time, so bear with me because my lines are probably gonna look quite scraggly, but I'm hoping that it's going to add, you know, a little more personality to the kind of cutesified art style that I'm going for. And I'm gonna be smart about it and start with one of these random rocks because they're not very important and I need a little bit of practice. Is this satisfying yet? Am I creating one of those satisfying art videos? I can't really talk and draw at the same time when I'm doing this because I have to concentrate so hard. I kind of messed up the lines down here, but I'm actually gonna blame the fact that I'm filming on this because it's really hard to draw nice, smooth, rounded lines with these kind of pens if you can't turn the page. Oh, I slipped. But it's okay. It's okay. Very few things in nature are perfect. Perfect as in made out of perfectly straight and smooth lines. This one is very wobbly. Aside from dinosaurs, another thing I've never really drawn before are vehicles. So like cars, trains, planes, and so on. I've drawn a train from the inside before though, like twice. But that's kind of because I'm not really someone who's interested in stuff like that. A lot of little kids go through a phase where they're really into cars. I think it's kind of funny because, I don't know, maybe it's because I've never been a car person, but princesses, dinosaurs, ancient Egyptian lore, and all that kind of stuff makes sense to me. Or even like construction site vehicles, but just cars? I don't know, I don't really get it. I don't understand why that's such a common obsession for so many kids. If you were a kid that was into cars, please let me know why. So again, I don't use wet mediums very often. Would it be smart to continue with the pterodactyl, or should I start on the stegosaurus? I think I'm gonna go for the pterodactyl. It's so hard to draw these straight lines. Not even straight, but like clean lines. So I'm pretty sure this is gonna be an unpopular opinion, but despite having been a dinosaur girly at one point in my life, I never actually liked the A Land Before Time movies. I always thought they were incredibly boring and a lot of the characters were kind of annoying. Like, Sarah is the main reason why I started disliking Triceratops. but I did once, as a kid, watch one episode of Extreme Dinosaurs on TV, and that just kind of altered my brain chemistry, and I never forgot about that show. Alright. Okay, I think the line art is done now. So I'm just gonna give it a few more minutes to dry while I'm cleaning up my pen. And then I'm gonna see you again to start coloring it. Okay, I am so ready to start coloring this in. But I do want to first get used to holding these tiny little pencils. So I'm gonna start by coloring in the foliage and the little rocks first. Because again, for me, it's quite awkward to hold a pencil the way I have to hold these, just because they're so small. Now let's do the sun. The sun's gonna be easy as well. Since I only have one yellow, I'm gonna make the inside lighter, I think. I haven't really looked into the sun for a while now, so I'm not sure, but I think the inside is usually like white when you look at it, and then the rays are slightly yellow. I'm thinking about maybe playing around a little with gradients, just because it's really I don't really use gradients much when I'm doing traditional art, so I am kind of tempted to try it out, but I do love these dinosaurs a lot, and I think gradients are kind of hard to do, so I'm just gonna practice a little on these plants and then decide if I want to try it on the actual dinosaurs as well. So how do you like my attempt at some plant gradients? I think on the green ones it's very subtle, and this one makes it very obvious that I have zero practice in gradienting colored pencils. So next is the question what kind of colors I want to make these. Since I already used quite a bit of green, I don't think I'm gonna make any of the dinosaurs green, which means I still have like blues, purples, pinks, and the yellow left. So do I go for matching colors, or do I go for kind of like more contrasting colors? I do want to make this one's like little back plates red, just because as a kid I thought it was so cool that they could change color. Not actually sure if that's still a true fact based on modern dinosaur science. But as a kid I thought it was really cool, so they're definitely gonna go like reddish pink now. The fact that I'm drawing dinosaurs today was kind of a spontaneous idea, but if I ever make a dedicated dinosaur video again in the future, I definitely want to show off my favorite childhood dinosaur book. Because I feel like every person has gone through a dinosaur phase, and they all had like a very specific book that became their favorite. So I really want to show off mine. Also because it's pretty old, I think it's really funny how depictions of dinosaurs have changed over the years. And me personally, again, even though I know it's not the most accurate, I like sticking to the more reptile looking dinosaurs just because it's the kind of depictions that I grew up with. Okay, I think it's kind of cute. I did add a very slight like yellow gradient in those like back spikes and the feet. I do think this peach looks very cute on the body, but on the head he just ended up looking like a bald man. Let's keep going with the next one. And I think I'm gonna make this one blue. The Naturkunde Museum in Berlin actually has a really impressive skeleton of one of these long-necked dinosaurs, and I'm pretty sure it is a Brontosaurus like this one. And that's actually the reason why that one was always my favorite museum as a kid. Having skeletons like this on display seems to be a lot rarer than I thought it would be. And that just kind of made me so much, and that just made me really happy realizing that I had the privilege to grow up with really cool dinosaur exhibits as a kid. But that being said, I think nowadays kids have it even better because live dinosaur exhibits were not a thing when I was a kid. And now I see them advertised like everywhere. And I really want to go to one, but I don't know how awkward it would be to do that without a kid accompanying me. But I really want to see a dinosaur move, even if it's just like a not so great looking animatronic. This one's colors I'm not so sure about. I think the colors look absolutely lovely, but I think the darker blue that I used is a little too dark. I think I should have probably gone for a different color for him. I do quite like the turquoise patches on him though. I'm thinking about making this one yellow, but I'm not sure what kind of color to contrast it with. I might just color this one in first because I want this one to be purple and then come back to this one. Ah, I wish so much we knew what dinosaurs actually looked like. I love it so much when people compare animal skeletons to what the animal actually looked like. And they're always just so different. I really hope we'll get some more information. We'll get some more concrete ideas of what dinosaurs actually looked like within my lifetime. Like, that would be so cool. I did consider using the red pink pen for the contrasting gradients on this one, but I'm actually quite glad that I used the blue. I think this is so pretty. So even though the body of this guy ended up looking a little weird, I think the colors really make up for it. Now that I've done all the other 3 dinosaurs, there is only this cutie left. And I am still unsure about what color I want it to be. But since I used the blue gradient on this one, I think I kind of have to use the red gradient on this one. I really wish right now I did have like an orange. Alright, I mean, I'm just gonna start coloring him in yellow because there's no way around it. Or I guess I could actually make this one red. Yeah, I could make him red with then like yellow accents. And then maybe I can give him a purple gradient. I think that could work. That could work, hopefully. There are so many different interpretations of what color this one would have had. It's really fun to see. I don't think there is a way for us to tell what kind of color dinosaurs actually had. But I remember when we were learning about dinosaurs in like 2nd grade, I actually posed the question of, how do we know dinosaurs weren't like neon pink? And everybody just booed me. And then of course I got really petty and I just started envisioning all dinosaurs as being like neon highlighter colored. Alright, I think it's interesting. It's not my favorite color combo on this page, but I think it works, it's alright. So let's see if purple gradients are gonna make it better or worse. Actually, I think the purple does go pretty well with the red, just because the red is quite pinkish as well. So this is pretty cute. I quite like how this picture turned out. Although I do feel like it's still lacking something. Maybe I can add some sparkles. Sparkles tend to make things better, right? Yes. It's all coming together. Okay. I think I am done. I think my dinosaurs look adorable and I love the rainbow sparkles everywhere. And also I just really love these colored pencils. These pencils Even though I got them so cheap, the colors are amazing and the pencils are so smooth. And I'm really gonna look into getting a pencil extender so I can use them more often, because the fact that they're this short is kind of annoying. Yeah, I think that's it. And here are my finished dinosaurs. Let me know which one of these is your favorite, and also more specifically, which one of the colors is your favorite. I tried my best to use all of them somewhere. Chances are you probably have never seen or used these pencils before. They seem to be just like some sort of generic dollar store brand. But if by whatever chance you have had these exact same pencils before, let me know what you think about them. And if you haven't, would you buy them if you see them? I feel like if you collect art supplies, then they're totally worth it, even just for the aesthetic. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm so glad that you watched this video to the end, and I really hope to see you again next week for another video. Goodbye! I am excited to take off this wig. I don't know if it's just my age, but my head hurts like crazy. I really don't understand how I used to be able to wear these wigs for like 10 hours straight. Gotta say, the dark green is really not the most flattering color on me.